Obviously, my name's Steven Johnston. I started a digital marketing agency 6 years ago. It turned into the agency it is now, called Digital Oct. What we do is we do all the performance ads on Facebook, Instagram, and Google for healthcare clinics like medical clinics, PT, chiro, everything in the pain space. And we not only generate the leads, but we also have an in-house US-based appointment setting team that fulfills all those leads for our clients. So basically what ended up happening was we made our service so turnkey and so effective that we were able to scale so quickly, because the big problem in the marketplace is a lot of these local businesses are very bad at handling leads, and they end up canceling because it's just a finger pointing competition of, we're doing it right, no you're not, da da da. So I was like, screw all that, we're gonna do it. We took on this challenge 4 years ago. We went from three employees to 28 in 3 years, with 75% of our team being appointment setters for our clients. Obviously we made the Inc. 500 this year, number 380 on the list, 2 comma club, stuff like that. Basically I can get the what's the next one, and the 10-figure one, I forget what it's called, but
yeah, you got the 1 milli, you're going 10 milli, then 25 million, then eventually the 50.
Yeah, so we surpassed the 10 milli, so I'll probably apply for that. I just don't know where to put it in my house because it's so big.
It's huge. It's huge. We have a few.
But yeah, guys, I started out, and I'm not a genius by any means. Like, if I could, man, there's some photos of me. I used to work in a kitchen making like breakfast burritos and shit, like straight up, when I was 24, making $14 an hour. My main motivation was, I just knew that, like, I was getting embarrassed by like people coming in the restaurant and me continuing to make such little money at like the age of 24. So I came across Ty Lopez way back in the day. He said, 10 clients paying you $1,000, you can make 10K a month. I bought that in like 5 seconds, went all in, and this is where I'm at now. Obviously I've had a lot more mentors since then, but that's what planted the seed.
That's awesome, man. That's outstanding. And now you're niche down now, right? So you only focus on chiros, is that right?
Chiro, medical clinic, PTs. We're about to horizontal scale into dental. Okay. This is really our huge sort of a big move into us becoming like an overall healthcare agency versus just niche. So we're about to get in that second into the dental stuff, and yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Sweet. And are you on like a flat fee with your clients? How did you build out your value ladder and you charge your clientele?
Yeah, so we basically do a flat fee because in healthcare, you can't do like pay per performance, especially with like all the insurances and stuff. So we're a flat fee. We charge $29.95 retainer. Typically our client ad spend is like $2,500 ad spend. Okay. We are building our lower ticket product, which is where we don't take the calls anymore. So we find like there's still a market for that. And so that market that only has the $3,000 a month budget, for example, we can still bring them in, give them the resources, but we already know there's like a 90% chance once they get the ball rolling, they want to automate the phone handling, because it's a tough job. Like, if you're spending thousands of dollars on marketing and leads, you better have someone who's like game ready, answering the phone and calling the leads and maximizing appointments in the door, or you're never gonna, get it off the ground.
Huge. That's huge, man. Awesome. And so you started into this when you were 24. How quickly did you start to see some success for yourself?
Yeah. So I didn't get a client until 7 months in. 7 months in, sending, hundreds of emails, all the cold calls, going door to door. Got my first client through cold email. Got my second client through cold call. And yeah, just really scrappy in the beginning, to be honest. So my first year was rough. I think we did like $20,000, 20K in sales, legit. Yeah. I was still working in an Italian restaurant in Scottsdale. I was a busser at night, and then I worked the agency during the day.
Okay.
And then finally, things just started to click. Just clicking through repetition.
Awesome, man. Repetition, the father of learning, bro. That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so Ty Lopez, first mentor. Who would you say would have been some of your other mentors that have helped you, guide you along the way?
Yeah, so went from Ty Lopez, connected with someone named Jeremy Haynes, which really just taught me more about like ad IQ, like Facebook advertising.
Yeah, I've worked with Jeremy a lot, man. Good guy.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, really good guy.
So Jeremy, like, I was learning a bunch of Facebook ads, but my problem was I didn't know how to sell. I didn't have a proven sales process.
Yeah.
So like, it's funny, as a business owner, you first start with the absolute necessity of what you need to know, which is you know how to run ads, and you start to like send cold emails, and then you get these calls, and then you know what the hell you're doing because you've never had calls in your whole life. And then you start to lose all these calls, and then you realize I need to know sales. So then I came across Nick Robbins. This is way back. This is like a throwback, but he basically taught me just a simple sales presentation deck, simple qualifying call, demo, close, and then that is what I went from, like, I don't know, probably like 6K a month to like 25K a month in like 8 weeks once I learned how to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, these guys are all sold on how important a sales process is. So I couldn't have paid you to say that any better, Stephen. Thank you, man.
100%. It's vital.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you came across these mentors. You started putting it into application. Didn't really have a first one until 7 months in, but then it started to pick up. You understood that there was probably a lack of knowledge, which was holding you back from scaling. What's been like your biggest? I don't even know if you want to say like month to date, but what's been like your biggest win, if you will?
Biggest win just in business in general?
Yeah, what would you say has been a big win for you, man?
I think, a big win that was kind of like emotional for like 10 minutes was making the Inc. 5000, because I remember, like, when I was younger, I just didn't realize how people could even do that. Like, because there was just so much more for me to know, so much more foundation, where like it just didn't even seem realistic or possible. And then jumping down like 5 years later, I mean, we're in the top 500.
Yeah.
And so when they did that whole, like, I think you guys made the 5,000 too. It's a cool feeling, just kind of being up there.
Yeah, man. So and I'd say none of this to deflate your success, but I can understand how hard of a process it is, because we did have to go through it too. So I know how grueling it is. I know all the documents and all the paperwork you have to provide to make sure that it's validated. And huge accomplishment, Stephen. Especially, how old are you?
I just turned 30.
Okay, congratulations. Welcome to your 30s. Things get easier. Okay, Stephen, anybody else? Does anyone have any questions for him? Obviously, talking to a hungry, motivated entrepreneur in this space. He knows how to do Facebook ads. Jeremy Haynes, for those of you guys who don't know, I've worked with Jeremy very close. I've seen him, just for one of the clients that we worked with, I've seen him put 250 auto booked appointments on the calendar per day. Per day. I've watched him spend over $250,000 in a week just with one client on advertising. So the connections that this guy Stephen has, there's probably a lot of data and knowledge you guys can extract from this man's brain. So it looks like Armando's got his hand up. Armando, what do you got?
Yeah, Stephen, my name's Armando. Pleasure to meet you, bro. You said you 7 months. It took you 7 months to get your first client. During that 7 months, tell me how grueling it was, bro. Tell me I want to know the excuse my language, the shit you went through. Like, what the hell am I doing? What did I do this for? Why am I doing this? What kept you motivated? What kept you going? And just like your process. Just a quick overview if you can.
Yeah. So basically, the first 7 months were like extremely painful. The first year is incredibly painful. And the good thing is I came from a severe position of pain, because I was showing up making opening up a restaurant, making all this food, doing all this stuff, and just realizing that like I had no skills and I was so desperate. So when I had the opportunity and learned about an agency, I went so in thinking that it'd be so easy because it was like, yeah, just get 10 clients paying you 1,000. Yeah, I'll be making 10K in 2 months. That's what we all think to start. Hell no. I couldn't even write a business email like to start. I didn't even know how to like end an email. Like that's how retarded I was. So
Or a professional text.
it was bad. It was bad. So the first 7 months was like a huge punch in the face of like, does this even work? Is this even like legit? Because I'm sending all these emails, I'm doing all this action, and I keep showing up and I keep showing up, and I don't get any replies at all. So that's a tough pill to swallow, right? To keep spending hours a day writing, sending videos, going in. I even went into businesses and like just would be embarrassed basically. You know, I'd go in there, ask, you know, for the owner of digital marketing, they'd be like, get out of here. You know, like we're busy.
So can you tell me what kept you going? Like what kept you going? Because I think that I probably would have quit.
What kept me,
So I don't want to do that.
What kept me going was
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
I literally almost like punched another team member at the restaurant in the face within like a split second. Well, I couldn't go back to the restaurant. That was the problem because I was embarrassed. I was broke. I like nice things. I like all this shit. And so keep going back to this place was like, it was like this thing that was about to explode. And I realized that when I legit almost punched someone square in the face. And I knew if I would have done that, there would have been some serious consequences. And then I knew I was in a place where I had to make a change. So I always like to say, if the pain of your current reality is not greater than the pain you're going to face of sending all the emails and doing all the work to get the first client, second client, if it's not worse than that, then you're always going to revert back to your job and you're just going to be a W-2. You're just going to go back to the job. So
Yeah.
The pain of your current reality and what you're facing has to be far greater than figuring out how to get to 10K. Because if it's not, you're going to revert back. But don't fucking quit. Keep doing all this shit. Because if someone like me could do the reps, figure it out, and then just keep doing it, and then finally making small adjustments, and then things finally starting to click through all the repetition, and then it fucking happened. Oh man, like I'm so grateful I didn't quit.
Right on. Thank you.
So grateful.
Hey, Steven. Hey, what's up, bro? I see a lot of your ads on my page too, man.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I see a lot of your ads on my page. So yeah, it's even cooler down to see you in person talking with you. You know, a lot of the things that you said, like, not being able to basically be computer literate, when it comes to doing this, I'm speaking for myself, but I struggled with that in the very beginning a whole lot. And Armando asked you, like, what was some of the things that made you want to, like, keep going? Well, we know that everybody always say that if you keep going, it gets easier and easier, and then you can be successful at it. But you mentioned something earlier about, like, basically, like, your business, you kept going with it, and your business basically transformed overnight. And you said if you're not ready for a certain amount of leads coming in, is that what you said? Amount of clients coming in?
So keep going. I want to make sure I'm
what I'm asking, like, you said something that how did you prepare yourself for all the leads and everything that was coming in? Did you have a team set up, or you had to develop a team?
You talking about for our clients when we took over that process?
Right.
Yeah. So fast forward, right? I get to $40,000 to $50,000 a month, and we were basically stuck there because the amount of clients we were losing every month due to the fact that they couldn't handle the leads was stalling us out because we'd bring in 5 clients and we'd lose 5 or 6. And this happened for like a 6-month period. We were very frustrated. So the moment we realized we were going to take calls, legit, me and my COO took all the calls. We did it for 1 month and we literally got that client like 4 times better results than they were doing. That was the moment we realized we had to build a team because we kept doing it for another month. But it was hard to call these leads, do sales, do account management, do all the Facebook ads. It was impossible. So the answer to your question is we built a team. Now we have 20 in-house US-based appointment setters who handle all of our clients' leads. So we went from me doing it to now we have 20 employees doing it.
Okay, so you did, and that's great, man. So like, as far as your like structuring your business, did you have to structure that yourself, or you structured it yourself?
Yeah, because check it out. No one was doing what we were doing. So there wasn't one person to look to say, wow, like they're doing it. That's how you do it. We were the ones who legit paved the way for now what you see is full service appointment setting. We paved the way. So there's no one to look to. So we developed all the systems just based on like what we thought it could be and what we thought it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And, obviously through the years, we've been more efficient, right? We're always looking ways to be faster, more efficient, more effective, get more out of labor costs. Cause we have our payroll, we have a $2 million a year payroll. It's getting expensive. So our whole goal, a big focal point in our company is how do we get more production out of the payroll we currently have through better systems and just better management and stuff. So that's a big focal point now and as we go on.
And that's all to the agency that you design, develop.
Correct.
So I'm kind of like sort of like in that process.
What was that?
And I said I'm kind of like sort of like in that process of trying to establish an agency.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a learning experience for me also.
You always start small though. So like we started with one person.
Mm-hmm.
They managed 10 clients. We learned a lot. Like we weren't just like, okay, 1 hired 2 and just go, because we were so scared of destroying our reputation. So when we got 1, we realized, okay, we have an opportunity here. This is very unique. No one's doing it, but let's not fuck this up. So we looked at it closely with someone, they managed a client, and we were learning like, oh, wow, okay, this is how we can do this. Once we felt comfortable to go to 2, we went to 2. Once we got 2 down, then we're like, all right, let's go to 5. And then from 5, it was ballsy to go to 10, and then 10 to 20. So we were always cautious. Like the number one thing that always has been like behind, in the back of my mind is the reputation of the company and making sure that client results is always number one. Like you never want to sacrifice the reputation and the results over scale. So don't scale when you know the foundation is ready for scale.
Okay. Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I got a question.
That's good, bro.
Did you make your own team, or did the team help you get people to find in that, what's the word I'm thinking? People that help you get to that point. Did you find people that they help you get to find those people, or did they, market that for you? You try to find good people?
Yeah, so in terms of how we hire, so at first we were real scrappy. So my COO, who's super solid, he was legit a friend from high school who worked at this company who serviced healthcare in a big sales floor. It's called Doctable. They have like 100 sales reps. He was a sales rep. He liked what we were doing, snagged him. So it was me and him kind of like building the thing out. And then once we had to like hire at scale, I mean, we have job posts on Indeed, ZipRecruiter. We have hiring reels.
Okay.
All of our employees post hiring content on their social media. So I don't know if that
Okay.
answers your question, but at first,
It
at
does.
first,
My bad.
yeah, at first, like sometimes you don't want to hire friends and family, but when you're first getting started, I mean, like you just gotta just pick the best, the hardest people you can until you can really learn how to hire, because hiring's tough, man. Hiring is a tough process at scale. You really got to vet people, and yeah, that can be a deep conversation in itself, just hiring people,
Because it's hard to find people down here where we are. So it's you got to pick and choose to find people. So it's hard to build your business when you can't find somebody to
What are you
actually.
trying to hire for? What are you trying to hire for?
I do remodeling and interior and exterior as well. So that's
Okay.
what I run the business off. Plus I do U-Hauls and
Got it.
UL business as well. So and that's where I'm at now at the shop. So I do all that kind of work. So what I'm trying to do is as well as try to find those people to fund, to open that funnel to
Yeah,
the other
always,
business as well.
if you can, you always want to, if it's a stress market, hard to get talent, we always say we pay above average. We're in the position now where we have 401k and premium health insurance and all that. So we have all the bells and whistles because we know our competition has that too. So we have to almost competitively be there trying to hire people because our competition's bringing the same sort of heat. But at the end of the day, you have to figure it out. But at the end of the day, like that's the answer. You just have to figure it out. Whatever way, however you're going to figure it out because that's the only way the business is going to grow.
I got you. I appreciate that, man.
Yep.
Leslie Franklin, you have a question? Your hand is raised. Hello.
So, how do you deal with competition in just any sort of other company that's doing similar things as you? How do you deal with that, I guess?
Great question. So naturally, I'm extremely competitive, like extremely competitive. Like it's almost probably too much. And my whole thing is like, I have analogies like within our own team of what we talk about, but I'm always literally legit trying to like knock everyone's legs right out from under them with a baseball bat. And the way we do it, I know it's very physical, but the way I do it is we need to be so relentless on customer experience and customer results, like so relentless on just becoming even better and better and better at the thing we provide to the client. Where when we go to bed at night, we know no one is putting the amount of work and intensity into the client and their ROI and their experience than we are. And that's the number one way to beat competition, is just to be better at providing value, be better at generating cash, be better at building relationships with them. And that's just what we found. So when we see players in the space come up and people, try to mimic or copy us, because a lot of them have, we know that if anything, it's a compliment, but we got to keep building and innovating and keep moving the boat ahead. Because if not, it's risky, it's risky for us. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, just, also do competitive analysis. It's good if you sit in a market and you have 5 competitors and you can accurately say, this is everything that they do, and this is everything that we do. And you still need to understand like where you're at in terms of providing more value than everyone else. So if you have a competitor who's legit really good, maybe they're better than you, just realize like, how can I reverse engineer what they're doing and make it better? And that's okay. You can be third place in a market, but you have to reverse engineer your competition and just understand like what they're doing and why it works. and just find a way to do it better. There's no easy answer for this though, to be honest. This is business. Like this is business.
Knock their kneecaps out. That's what I got. Knock their
Dude, I mean,
out, bro.
dude, I mean, because we put so much work into this, you know, it's so much
100%.
so much blood, sweat, and tears, you know, it's like when you see someone trying to like replicate, you're just like, it is what it is, but we got to keep focusing on what's most important, and that's our customers.
Yep. Love that.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anybody else have something they want to drip on old Steven here? Any questions, comments, concerns, things that you feel like would be relevant?
I do.
Ooh, let's go, Fred. Love the melon hat, by the way, man. What's up, dog? How
Thank you.
doing?
Thank you. Yes, I have a question. I've been following you guys ever since I became a closer for almost a year now, about 8 months, give or take or two. Recently, I had a spew. I had a stroke back late September, and I was working with Ty Phillips, Clay, Ty Marker. The list goes on. What is it that you or anyone on this panel do to get back motivated? Because this stroke, it took a lot out of me, and I'm trying to get right. What does it take to get right?
To get back on the motivation train?
Absolutely.
So for me personally, even where I'm at, I'll still get into like these weird valleys mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Swear to God, like I was in one like 2 months ago for like 2 weeks of just waking up, just like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing? Like, just not feeling it. Weak workouts, everything was just weird. And what I realized is I was slowly getting comfortable off my routine. Things were starting to slide, right? That's what really started causing it, right? Things started to slide, this and that. And then finally it hit me. I'm like, whoa, I got to get out of this now. And so what I do is I go back to the basics, and I love doing this. So when I wake up, I have like a 1-page sheet of who is Steven Johnston, and I wrote it myself. Like, who am I? All the way down to like my bank account, my business, my personal life, my skill sets and hobbies. Everything is there, like of who I am. And so I'll just go on a simple walk, and when I look at it, I'll just be visualizing like, yeah, no, we're a multi-figure agency, and just read it, and it just puts me in this super good mood of just like, hell yeah, let's fucking go. Like, and it may seem corny, but it works for me. And I'm, we do 500,000 a month. I became a multi-millionaire off the agency, and I still fall into these weird slumps of me feeling like I'm not good enough to like get to that next level. And so what I do is I just get back to the basics, man, of just having that little visualization, like a 10-minute visualization on something I wrote up of like who I really am, and there's a lot of things outside of work, just, yeah.
No, that's fire, Steven.
Thank you. And can I say this one thing? Can I tell my sister Leslie, it's good to see her again. God bless you, girl. Everybody keep me in prayer. This is a day by day I'm improving, but I thank y'all, man, to keep me going. Just pray for me. I pray for all of you, and let's do this. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God bless.
You're welcome.
I pray for everybody in the academy, bro, every morning, every night.
Yeah.
Amen.
I shout it out, baby. I tell the Lord, pray for all my Closer Academy family, man. I love them all, man. Make them all successful. Let's go to the top together. Let's shine, man. Let's rise, man. Let's be like B Money and Mike Barron and John Pena and Van Taylor.
Amen.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, Frederick.
Yes.
Frederick. Hey, if you guys get back, for me, Frederick, I'm gonna tell you something that I do, man. Because in the last 4 months, I had like 3 close family members died, very close family members. And even, well, no, let's go back. Even since I started this program, I had my mom died, my grandma died. I had a son that passed away. I had a cousin pass. I had so many people pass away, right? And me not even like having the full knowledge of what it is that I'm doing here. And, you know, I graduated from college with a 4.0 average, man. And this is the hardest thing I have ever done. And it's because of the lack of knowledge that I haven't obtained and all of the other things that I'm going through in my life. But one thing it's several things that I do, man. I always show up. I show up to these meetings. That's the main thing, because that gives me the inspiration to keep going. And then I look at other people's success, and I see the light that shines in them when they're successful. And that keeps me going. And then I look at my wife, because my wife, she just had a kidney transplant. They took both her kidneys out, so she has one now. She had donated, got one kidney. And I look at my whole entire life, what I've been through, and my family, and I think to myself, damn, I got to be the one that changes. I got to be the one that change a whole lot of this. I'm in the position to change it. Just do what you have to do. Yesterday was yesterday. Today is the day. Learn some new shit. Keep going.
That's right.
Amen.
And that will keep.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we got a couple minutes here. I'll go to you in a second here, Robert. But I just want to summarize what you've got your boy Steven here saying, what we've got Tyrone saying, what everyone's saying. How do you keep motivation? It's honesty. It's being honest with yourself. And there's 2 ways to look at this, right? There's honesty with, oh man, all right, I'm so grateful now that I have like the ability to wake up today. I have the ability to breathe. I have the ability to make calls, right? I didn't have the ability to make calls last night, but I do today. It's that honesty, right? Just being honest and grateful for what you currently have. But what Steven does, and this is, I don't know if you guys missed this, I'm going to reiterate it, is he's so convicted of where he's going that when he acknowledges the future Steven, it's as if it's right now. So he's honest with himself. What he's doing is he's like, hey, my beliefs, right? Because your reality lines up with what you believe yourself is going to be, right? There's things and people and places and ideas that will move into your life or out of your life based on how you believe you should operate. And so as Steven is saying, he's like, dude, I have 8 figures in my bank account. Not yet, but he visualizes it and he believes it. I have, 15 happy friends that I can call it a minute that would help me change my tire. And he's talking about all these things that are future tense, but he believes them as if they're now. And that's the other form of honesty. They call it fake it till you make it. No, it's just be honest and demanding from the universe where the fuck you want to go. And just saying like, yo, everything get out of my way. I've commanded it. And now it's time for me to reap the rewards of the work I'm willing to put in to deserve that exercise. Love that you said that, Steven. I think that's huge, man. Honesty is what I think breeds motivation. And if you don't get motivated by looking at your bank account, then man, I want to learn from you, bro. I want to learn from you because I got.
Mine don't motivate me.
Just realize the first 10 minutes of the day is so important to like take control of. Some people say an hour. It could be 10 minutes. But if you start the first 10 minutes off when you wake up thinking about, oh, I got to make all these calls or I got to do this and oh, I got to drink water. Like you just wait. Because I've been like that before. And it's like so pathetic. So right when I wake up, that bitch voice will try to come in. Nah. Here we go. Let's go. Wash my face, drink some water, go outside, go for the walk. I'm not letting that little voice start to try to creep in right away. It's straight away to like, all right, what do we got? You gotta knock his kneecaps out, Steven. That little inner bro. You gotta take the baseball bat, put him back to the kneecap, bro, and say, see ya. All right.
Hey, don't say that. I'm getting my knee replaced.
Go ahead.
I got my knee replaced on the 29th. Don't say that.
All right. So we got just a couple minutes here, and I reached out to my buddy Robert Zappa here, Steven. I said, look, this young cat, he's in your field. He does chiro ads. I know Zappa does chiro ads and does all this stuff in the chiropractor space. I wanted you guys to meet so that Robert, it looks like he raised his hand. He either has a question or he's got a comment for you, man. But he is in the same space, and I feel like this connection just needed to happen. So Robert, I'll give you the floor, man. If you got any questions for Steven, now's your chance.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, B. It's always fired to see you there. And thanks for setting this up. And Stephen, thanks a lot for being here. So like B was saying there, I'm Rob Zappa from Winnipeg, Canada. And I was a family doctor for about 14 years and then got into, some sales and marketing stuff, obviously through Mike and the program here. So I guess I have kind of, first of all, I guess a request, which is, don't come after me with a crowbar. I'm not that far into the space, so you're probably safe that way. But the other thing I was just going to say or ask, I guess, was I did get into this area, and then I kind of backed off a little bit, and I guess I've had a little bit of trouble focusing. So I guess that would be and I have to admit that I did miss the first couple of minutes of when you were on, but so I don't know if you talked about it already. But one of the issues I have is just finding that sort of niche area to focus in. How did you decide on or how did you narrow that down for yourself?
So like, how did I originally get into like the pain management space? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
So I organically fell into it. So I actually, while I was doing the whole SMMA thing, I was reaching out to realtors and everyone. I like to work out a lot. So I actually threw my neck out doing heavy front squats. Never went to a chiropractor my whole life. Could barely even get out of bed, legit. Like I was super in big trouble with my neck. And so I go to a place that my rugby coach referred me to because I used to play rugby in college. Go there 2 days later, I'm legit better. Like I went from a 10 to like a 1 in 2 days with like all the stim and whatever they do. And then I was like, out of nowhere, it just kind of came out. I wasn't even thinking about it. I was like, who's doing your marketing? He's like, no one. We went to Starbucks. I was like, let me do your marketing. Still had no idea what I was doing. Totally failed. But basically, to answer your question on how I niched down, is that's how I went. Failed the first one, got my second one. And just kind of naturally, I realized like, if I'm already learning so much about this, I'm just going to stay here because this is like the most I know. This industry is the most I know through all what am I trying to say? All the research I was doing on the first client, even though it didn't work. So from there, basically what ended up happening is we started to get more clients. More people started asking us if we can do this service, this service, this service. And so organically, we went from chiropractic to medical to like regenerative medicine, which is stem cells and all these things. And then we went from there to basically now we're going into dental because we're having people come through our funnel asking about dental. So it's kind of been like that sort of natural process, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks a lot. I guess one other super quick observation, from my research and doing it, one of the things I came across was that it seems like a lot more big businesses getting into medicine. And, it seems to be moving away from the sort of 1 or 2 person, like, mom and pop kind of shop, small medical practices into these like big monolithic kind of things. Is that something you've noticed, or is that something that you're prepared to deal with? Or
Yeah. So there's still like a really big small business market of like these 10 to 20, 25 employee medical clinics. However, their big competition is exactly who you're talking about. So ideally at the end of the day, a good business owner who has a strong practice in the medical field, they're never going to be taken out as long as they are good at what they do, which is getting patients better and having like a strong business. But the ones who are just like any business, the ones who, don't really run strong, there's a huge chance that like they just end up getting taken out.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Wow.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, like I think probably every year about 5-6 clients go out of business. It's pretty crazy. We see it with our own eyes. And the number one reason why is we almost kind of like knew it because the business owner and the team is just not good. You know, it's like, oh yeah, I mean, how would you have made it? You know, you could get them all the leads, you can give them everything, but some business people just never really build that strong, solid foundation of just how every business needs to be just to stay open. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks.
All right, everyone, let's go ahead and give them a warm round of applause. A Closer Academy farewell. And Steven, tell these guys how they can find you, man.
Yeah, so I actually started a YouTube channel, so you guys can follow me on Stevie Johnston YouTube. And then also my Instagram's the same, Stevie Johnston _. I'm gonna be posting a lot of like just scaling agency type content. That's pretty much everything I have on my YouTube so far. So if you want to know my story, you want to see how we run sales calls, I'm basically breaking down a lot of like skill strategy type stuff on my channel.
Love that, man. Keep giving the people value. Obviously, you have experience and knowledge to share. Give yourself that platform, man. YouTube's a great platform for it. And everyone, you guys know the routine. We'll see Steven up at the motherfucking top. Let's give him a good round of farewell.
Let's go, Stevie.
Steven,
Keep crushing it, bro.